The reason that I get so upset about, the falsehood of the leadership of this country is because I had been through enough in my life, and I realized how corrupted a lot of the laws are in the United States of America. And when I'm standing down the street after being homeless, after being an adult entertainer for a few years, trying to get a new home to live in, trying to figure out how I'm going to survive, reaching out to people for many years, nobody being willing to be a part or to help out, and I call it help. Why? Because if you knew my situation, I just want to get out of this and I need help. It's kind of like a swimming pool. When you look up to somebody and you say, would you help me out of here? A lot of people reach down there and they'll help pull you out. Now, if you're in life and you use the terminology, would you help me? Let me tell you something. Most people get very offended and they'll say, what? We don't help people. I don't help people. Well, they got an ego problem. They have serious mental issues. Why wouldn't you help somebody? What's wrong with you? Maybe they just didn't know the right word to share with you. Now, here's the thing. With that being said, I didn't want things to do in the music industry like people think so. Not anymore. It's way too late for that. With that being said, I am downtown and some dork comes up to me, and I know it was a messenger from Stephen C. Johnson, who is tied to Willie Nelson. Toby Keith is tied to Willie Nelson. And here's the thing, and so's a lot of other people that I met throughout the industry, okay? With that being said, do you think I want somebody walking up to me at that time telling me that entertainers and politicians get along well? I don't want to hear that. Why? Because I never wanted to get political. In my whole music career, and throughout my life, people said, always to remember this, never, in music and entertainment, never involve political or religious topics. Stay away from religion, stay away from politicals, okay? Now here's the thing. Now I'm being faced with this and I'm like, what? To me, that was like the big one. Do not, and I mean do not tell me that politicians and this entertainer, who that's what I used to go by, acoustic music entertainer, I realize I'm just Tracilyn and I'm a human being and, I have a huge heart here, okay? So it is what I think. Now here's the thing. I don't need to hear somebody tell me that because why? Because I just simply was never interested. I find politicians or political conversation, I find it very boring. Well, guess what? Many people will tell you that since that situation, that set me off. I don't need to hear that. Why? Because I wanted to do music as entertainment and a reach out in ministry. I went against what I heard about religion because I'm not religious. I just really have a love for Jesus Christ and God, the Holy Bible. And I love to praise God's name. It makes me feel good. It lifts me out of the unhealthy sickness that I was in mentally. Okay, let me say that again. I praise God's name. I lift the name of Jesus Christ, and I love the Holy Bible. Okay, let me say that again. I love God. I love Jesus and love to praise His name, Jesus Christ, and I love the Holy Bible. I cannot verify any other reason but my love for Jesus Christ and the Holy Bible and praising God with my mouth that got me into my personal identity. Truth, Tracilyn, what people call transsexual female. I'm Tracilyn. God gave me a new name. It's written in the Bible, I will give you a new name. Now, that new name is a form. A form. You know what form is? You might want to look it up in a dictionary. Form of God. It's an existence, an appearance of God. With that being said, that is the God that I worship. Tracilyn. The form of God. That's a direct connection to me falling madly in love with myself. It's like a center hub, isn't it? And everything else that comes along with it. When I fall in love with Tracilyn and I keep praising God's name, it lifts me out. It's the first way. That is the rope that I grab. That is the side of the swimming pool I lift myself up on and I sit and I say I am grateful that I am out of it. Forever. No more. I've been saved. Now, when I get into that, And I'm going through what? There's nothing more that I want to do than what? Praise God for the rest of my life. I'm a singer. And God told me in Scripture, I will give you a new song. And guess what? I got many new songs. And life goes on, and here we go. Tracilyn is convinced, even before all of this, that I am going to what? God is calling me into a rock and roll ministry, a children's rock and roll ministry. What's that look like? I have no idea. Confused as I was, but I knew it was coming through. And here I am. I'm in Dayton, Ohio, living by a dumpster with limited come and go as you need to parking. Okay, a shower stall that was built for somebody who's 4'11", a hole in my wall that's just thrown a patch on top of it for the last 2.5 years, a bed that is propped up against the wall because I can't sleep on it because it was infested with bugs. And I'm sharing my life story with you, telling you I'm getting ready for album number 3. I'm getting ready to move for the first time by choice. And I need your support, leaders of this country. No words can express how frustrating it has been for me. When I reach out and I say I need help, it should be there for me. In fact, help, I shouldn't have to ask anybody. I should be able to just go to a county or a state office and say I'm here for my entitlement, which is property, a home in a beautiful location, safe. Do I need to go through the details for this? I'm going to, and I'm going to let the people who call themselves leaders of this country, maybe what you do is just make a declaration you're a leader and accept it. How about you just do that right now? You're listening to this video and you say what? From this day forward, I am a leader, not a follower. God, not man, is my leader. Within humanity and all around me, the God that is in it, that is for me, is the God I love. It's the God I am. And therefore, all the other portion can get years behind me, please. And stay there. And let's put the sewage lid on top of it, like in the movie of Thriller. How about if we just reverse that video clip? And we just close that scary person up under the street. Stressful, frustrating. Personally, tired of talking about pathetic things, but all of this happened and then I was electronically harassed. I've been electronically harassed my whole life. It explains also grinding of the teeth. You can feel electricity coming through your teeth. And then you grind your teeth at night. Do you do that? I don't want to grind them. I started doing it when I was living on Lafayette Street, 1332 Lafayette Street in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I started grinding my teeth at night. My mom told me to knock it off because she would wake me up and she would tell me, not mean, she would say, you got to knock it off. You're grinding your teeth and it's bugging me. Stop it. She didn't want me grinding my teeth. Well, this is what I found out recently. When they're jolting your brain, jolting your head, there's a sensation of electricity going through your gums and into your teeth. They're literally zapping and frying your brain. And that started when I was like 7 or 8 years old, 1980 just about. And I've been grinding my teeth ever since then. Some people have said it's because your parents were divorced and you were stressed out. There's things going on. Well, there's no doubt. So I wear that mouthpiece. I wear a mouthpiece, like for a football player. I put a mouthpiece inside my mouth and I hold that. And it seems to be all right. And sometimes they get me and sometimes they don't. But that's how pathetic this is. And by the way, the people who call you, that say that they're your leaders, what are they doing? Protecting you from this information? Why aren't they informing the general public that this is going on? What can we do about this, leaders of the United States of America? Does this explain how easily it is to divide houses? Do you ever hear that when a church gets started? Whenever a church gets started, a church is more than one person, I'm assuming, or is it where one invites Jesus Christ into their life? Is that where the church begins? And wherever two are gathered in my name, there I'll surely be. That's the church. Well, when there's love and people are trying to work things out in a house, have we ever acknowledged that maybe people have the means to invade our privacy and maybe they bully us online on the internet by communicating with us on Facebook? Maybe you're not alone in other social networks we connect with dating. You ever think they might be watching us and it might be Well, it might be gay guys who are watching gay guys. It might be lesbians who are watching lesbians. It may be people in general that are watching you via satellite, and the more they watch you, the more they fall in love with you, and the more they want to dominate and use your body for whatever they want to do. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, think about it when you're watching television and you're watching people on TV and you start imitating and you want to be just like them. No, you don't. It's what happens when your dominant meditation focus is on them. It is not healthy for you. And to be honest with you, when you're going through life and you get the chance to look at yourself, if you look at other people that you have really, truly admired as you went through life, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but be careful, because do you want to be them, or do you want to truly be who you are? I've learned through my life that I want to really be Tracilyn, especially after I found out that these people have either witchcraft means or spiritual powers that we are not aware of. We don't know how to use them, and they invade our brain space. They invade our privacy of our home. There's all kinds of things that goes on. That's what I believe, is that we probably have the means of communication with our minds, like Wi-Fi, internet, only it's probably called something else. We might be humanoids of some sort. So I'm going to do this new album. I'm looking forward to it. It's songs that I wrote. A majority of them I wrote when I first came out here in Ohio. But also, some of them that I wrote and I also recorded on albums, like my promo CDs and stuff, years ago, back in the early 2000s, and there might even be one or two that's even prior to that. I don't know yet, we'll find out. But there's going to be some really good stuff on there, and I was really hoping to have quality equipment to do this and live somewhere I want to live, so I could enjoy my life. It takes a lot of mental power to be able to record music. I never wanted to be a producer. I became a producer, Joyce Myers, because your teachings did not teach me how to connect with people to do things in unity. So I've learned, just do it yourself. And then when the time comes, you get the band together, you get contracts and put everything in writing, and you pay people. How's that, Joyce? So I'm going to need money. Consider that. I will need money to pay people, Joyce. That's how you get people together on planet Earth, especially if you didn't have a very good teacher. Then I realized that Tracilyn started to acknowledge ministry. So that was a ministry that was about ready to be birthed in me, right? Kind of like the seed of Jesus Christ giving birth to a baby for Mary. Well, this was a seed of a ministry in Tracilyn. So Tracilyn came along pregnant. It wasn't long till I was Tracilyn, and it was always in me. In other words, I always loved music. So music ministry is what my mind digests as being legit as to what I want to do with my life. And that's exactly it. Being myself and focusing on my music ministry has birthed what I've come to realize by the dominant focusing on my music ministry and myself is life is what we want to do. And if we had good teachers, good leaders, they would take plenty of time to speak to us in favor of how we can best maximize our lives. If you're listening to people like Trump, like anybody else out there who has had very successful business endeavors, can I tell you, reconsider this. Maybe, just maybe, we aren't trying to be business people. Maybe we're trying to be here. How do we maximize our fullest potential for living life and fulfilling our own personal heart's desires? The things in life that mean the world to us. Well, it looks a lot different than going and trying to fulfill the way that somebody has evidently niched out in the music business or a field of employment that one is thinking about. It's like at Walmart. If you really realize how much of your time throughout the day is your heart's desires being fulfilled, be honest with yourself. Does that make you jump out of bed and you want to be there every day of your life at Walmart? Or do you just feel comfortable with yourself that you love being wherever you are, which is great, and therefore you, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're going through, you're satisfied and you're content with that. That's magnificent. But when it comes to what you're doing with your body your hands, your legs, your feet. Do you want to be giving it to Walmart for 6, 7, 8? What is it now? It used to be $8 an hour for me. What's it for you? Is it $10 an hour? Are they willing to give you full time with benefits? No, they won't. Most likely they won't do that. Okay? Because Walmart is a name, and in that name, it pretty much does not really care about anybody or anything. It just is. It's available for people. Take one of your true needs to Walmart, and what are you going to find out? You're going to be let down if you think that they're going to show some kind of love and affection to you. That's not what it's about. That's not why Walmart exists. Do you think we were lied to about Sam? Do you think that was a kind of like a stage from? Where'd he come from anyway? Was that real? Sam he started off with panties. Wow, look at that, Sam. He started off with selling panties in a bin at his hardware shop. Was that it? Well, away he went. But if Tracilyn puts an ad online with herself in a pair of panties and says, call me sometime, then all of a sudden I'm prostituting, right? Well, let me tell you something. Instead of going into Sam's hardware, even though I would have probably appreciated it and appreciated him, going into Sam's hardware store and checking out his special on panties, I would rather, at times back then, I would have rather put on a pair of really nice panties, especially if Sam had a good bargain on them, and taken a picture of myself and posted it online with my phone number and a nice price tag that said I don't have to now work at Walmart for a whole month if I just nail this one client for an hour. If that. Wow. Well, you must be pretty good then, Tracilyn. Not me. That's the reality of it. And then the people who call themselves leaders, they're not leaders. They're not leaders at all. Okay? They're a stage front is what it is. Some people call them puppets. And I've realized that life is eternal. And the best way to give yourself peace is accepting the fact that it most likely is, and we're transitional existences. And once you get back onto your right path in life, which I could explain more detail sometime, and you realize the best way to start building up your faith is you know that it's going to be. You're setting up the details now, meaning I am setting up the details now. When you set up the details because you love yourself, because I love myself, you realize that doing it super fast isn't the answer. Because there's a lot involved in it. And you got to take it slowly, step by step in a lot of cases. You have no other choice but to adapt a daily conversation of yourself, reminding yourself that life is eternal, and this might not happen for 16 lifetimes. Meaning I may transition into many different life forms before it actually comes into play. Or maybe it is considered to be already in play. But let me tell you something, when you're dealing with people in the music and entertainment industry, like the names I mentioned, like John Bon Jovi, Bret Michaels, Toby Keith, and you're talking about Tim McGraw, who's been on the radio for 30 years, you're talking about a lot of assholes who do not care about what? Nothing more than what they care about. So you're going to go through life and there's going to be other people like Stephen C. Johnson and other people, maybe even like Donald Trump, and other people with names such as that you may have heard or not heard before that are investors in whatever endeavors that they're doing, and they want to protect their own interests. And when somebody comes along who really has something to offer the rest of the planet, period, they are going to be what? Targeted. Look it up. Targeted. And the best way that you would recognize this is if you make up your mind that you are going to be all in on being true to yourself, getting your personal identity right, showing and revealing your sex appeal that you have to the general masses, posting it online. And then what? Whatever it is that you really desire to do, like music, writings, art, photography, you put it out there and you'll find out how quickly that information you post online, they delete it off. They change your view counts. They change your subscription counts continuously. And then you'll find out that if you keep on going, especially in music, and you got great music, you will find out that they also have been watching you and monitoring you with your thought process. How it's done, I don't know, but it's not just in the house. It's not just in the car. They want you to think silly little stuff like that. It's wherever you go. And right now, there's only one means of being able to do that I'm aware of, which is via satellite. Which might mean there's a big brain somewhere outside of planet Earth, or we're in a big brain, planet Earth. And being that we're all electrical existences, it could be that they can transport and teleport sound and words and all kinds of things into our brains. Okay? I'd rather not get into it too deeply. I'm sure there's all kinds of information out there. But when you're somebody like me, you will start to be upset after you reached out and you really simply wanted to live on the surface and enjoy your life and have a blast. But then you realize that you're a lot happier when you just even have a little bit of freedom to live life being true to you. You can have more freedom in many areas, but if you're not being true to you and you're being true to what you've been instructed or encouraged to do, led to do, misled to do, you're gonna be absolutely miserable. In other words, if you, like myself, were or are working like at Walmart as a cashier, or if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, or whatever the deal is, if you're mowing grass for a landscaper, or you're an attorney for a law firm, a very successful one, and there's something else that you really want to do, and you keep doing the things you're doing, life, not time. Forget about time as an illusion. Your life is high priority. In fact, it should be the highest priority. Then I don't know what to tell you exactly what to do, but it's time to get back on track with your heart, and you might have to let go and go through the painful struggle of an acknowledgement of going into your leadership, your politicians, and telling them, I'm entitled. You weren't teaching me right, and by the way, I'm entitled for the means to be able to take care of myself. I need to get things right with my heart. They ought to get things right with my heart account for citizens here in the United States that says, this is what we should have gave you the day you were born, and it's yours like a piggy bank, unlimited, is what it should have been. And then you use it whenever you need to use it. You want results of life. And what is life? Whatever it means to you, whatever it means to you. Be careful when people at church, mega churches like LCBC or any of those other ones, Joyce Myers, same thing. They'll show you pictures of things that are going on in other countries. And if it's real, then it's really sad, isn't it? And they're really paying it up for you, and then they're asking for the money. Let me tell you something. We don't need the money. We need people with willing hearts to make offerings like food, okay? The necessities, medical attention, etc., etc. They keep going towards the money. It's the best generous contribution for it because it gives them more freedom to do what they want. Let me tell you something. You start feeling when you're going through a church, like a life group, and you're trying to figure things out in Bible studies, you start feeling misled that maybe, you know what, maybe all of us are called to go over to another country and take care of people that are sick. Maybe, but maybe some things are not right to begin with over there, and what they need is some kind of military to protect them because maybe they're under attack, not by Satan, but by Satanists. Don't do anything without doing a heart check. Look inside your mind. Are you sure, without any influence whatsoever, what would you like to do with your life? Chances are it was already figured out by the time you could stand up at the television and look at it. What do you think of that? Maybe by the time you were carried in the door when you were only like what, 3 days old? 4 days old? 6 days old? You already caught a glimpse of something. You already heard something. It's starting to pixel in what you want to do with your life, or at least what you're attracted to. Very important. Consider not only doing things just for money, so you have a paycheck, but be careful, because if you don't have whatever it is that you use for you have a paycheck, might entail that you're going to end up losing a lot of what you have, if not all of it. Reconsider about giving it to your church. Make sure that's what you want to do. They have plenty. And when somebody reaches out for them for help, they'll tell them, we're praying for you. Don't forget, you can make your contributions here. I am not as happy with the details of my life. If I would have known that all this was going to happen like this, I got to tell you, in my opinion, from going from there to where I'm at is a disappointment. I'm grateful that I got an apartment. Okay? Very grateful. But I remember the sensation of collapsing on my bed, crying, and I also remembered the fact that I didn't have choice because I was not offered the opportunity to select from apartments. I had to take whatever I could get now, okay? Because of many detailed circumstances. And sometimes I feel like I was rushed by people who were invading my privacy and knew, and somehow sent the message through to my daddy to try to rush me out of the house because they found out that what? That I got my basic needs met. And that made things difficult. And now, with limited means, I'm gonna have to put together, I gotta actually write out the details of every one of my passions and the things that I desire to do, not to mention living in an apartment. It's kind of nerve-wracking because people overstep their bounds when it comes to, living in. I don't know who my neighbor's gonna be, okay? I don't know what in the world I'm stepping into. Now, after I have been through everything I've been through, I gotta be honest, I'm not looking forward to that. But if I don't do something, I used to live somewhere at an apartment and I would go outside on a regular basis. I didn't have to make a big deal about it. I lived in a neighborhood I wanted to live in. How's that? Okay? I don't have a problem with any of the people here. It's the location. Okay? I think I had challenges with like 1 or 2 people in 4 years that I lived here. Everyone's very kind to me. That's not what the problem is. The problem is the location for me, for my heart's desires and the passions I have. The limited come and go as you need to parking, not knowing if I'll have a parking space when I get back. These are things that are very stressful for me. Sleeping on the floor, dealing with bed bugs. Okay? I want to live somewhere where I'm close to the water. What I've realized is I want to live somewhere that's like that, meaning I want to live somewhere that is like set up like Huber Heights, Ohio, similar, which is very conducive and close, but I wouldn't compare it to my old hometown, Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and places I've lived before. So with a combination of Huber Heights and the city of Dayton, if I can combine that, those 2 places into one, living over in Columbus area, then I should be able to be pretty happy. That's me trying to put my life together with limited means of doing so. In my opinion, when speaking to my psychologist, I should be able to get a licensed psychologist or a psychiatrist note from them saying that it would be that, or a form that I could get them to sign that there I could submit in with the local county office, the local state office. How about is it a state? Is it a federal challenge? Is that it? But I should be able to submit a form that says what? Tracilyn needs additional means to be able to relocate because it's better for her mental health. There you go. If I could just get a gosh darn good attorney, I have plenty of work and ideas. I'd probably be very well to do. I would keep them busy and always have ideas on ways we could sue. Because that's what it's all about. The laws are all over the place. They say to keep things suspended for life, but the truth of the matter sometimes it's choking life. And it's freaking me out that I can't even believe that even once I looked up to any worldly leader as though they were anything of great importance. No more. Nothing between me and God ever again. I get it. Humans don't what? They're not capable. We were not designed to serve the order of greater importance than God. God is the one who serves the importance through it all, through all this world, through the human race. Remodeling, want to move. Oh, they're also going to be remodeling this place, and that's good. And I have a lot of suggestions that are actually not a lot. I have a few suggestions. My hat's off to them. I don't know what in the world they're planning on doing. If this home in itself would have been located somewhere in town that I would have wanted to live close to the river, I'd probably be willing to stick it out a little bit more, most likely. and living in lower income, let's just face it, it's will we ever acknowledge that just because we call it lower income doesn't mean that there's a reason that these people should receive any less than anyone else, in my opinion, than anyone else in the world. There is no rich or poor in a physical sense. There's only rich or poor mentally, and if the people of the earth that might not be aware, they would realize that the reason why there is rich among us, it's because most of them, if not all of them, are very corrupted. Chances are, if we knew, if the general masses knew most of what I knew, and even just a little bit more information on top of it, we'd probably have wars all over the place because of it. People would realize they've been had pretty good. In my opinion, just like Elvis Enterprise kind of did like to the father of rock and roll, and people do to like Willie Nelson with Poco Poco, whatever his name was, and people in the music industry, how they take advantage of what the world would consider less fortunate, people who are songwriters and stuff. That alone would freak people out. But you got to know the details to really understand that these people are not worthy of a paycheck. If nobody else is that writes songs, why would you want people that have been on the radio for 30, 40 years to receive monies for their airtime? And there's a whole lot more that goes along with that than just money. It's not just money they get. That's a brainwashing technique, so you keep on holding on that these people serve some kind of great importance to you, and then you make offerings to them, and you listen to their music, and you're also a vocal for them, okay? And all their words to their songs and stuff lives inside of you. Now it's coming alive inside of you, and it's taking shape. Did you ever notice that sometimes songs, it seems like they're a soundtrack to your life? It's like the real deal? Well, hello to a form of what they call witchcraft, because your belief system is what forms some form of life. When I was in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, I realized that I wanted to move to a bigger city no matter what. I understood this from traveling all over the country, at least the the eastern side of the country. I realized that I most likely would rather live in a bigger city, and I also realized that, that because of not only once I came out as trans, my doctors even recommended that it would probably be best for me to live in or close to a bigger city for all kinds of reasons, not just one or two. And the fact that I also am a songwriter and recording artist, and I would like to connect with people the way that I want to, which is in real life form, not on the internet, because bullies like Steven and Facebook and people on YouTube and all these other social networks, they manipulate information on your social media pages and anything to do with internet. Okay? I'd rather start connecting with other people in real life form, but the right people. See, Joyce Myers would say if one person came into your life, well, God gave you somebody. That's not true. God doesn't give you somebody. God is within people. And God may be telling you, run like hell, Joyce. There you go. God doesn't just give you people. God lives in and through people. And guess what? God may be saying, this person was only meant to be with you 1/8 of a second in passing. Maybe. Maybe not. But be careful of the bondage you think and hold on to when she's speaking. So anyway, the whole Nashville, the whole Las Vegas, almost lost my life there. California. And it's not. Is it because I'm not intelligent? Is it because I got a serious disability, that I'm a disabled mental person? Do I have a mental problem? Yeah, I did. I fell for a whole lot of horrible stuff within the Christian community, and they brainwashed me to believe in a falsehood of a God that is not real. Okay? I'm learning of more of a reality of a truth that I can deal with that is more in alignment with what I would acknowledge as being realistic. No Santa Claus here, Joel Osteen. The real deal. Not leaping ahead 20 years. There is no, you don't want to miss that information anyway. That's a lot of details you'd be missing out on. So I decided that since Cincinnati that happened while I was living here, I can get things like electrolysis, I can get laser treatments, I have varicose veins that I have been getting treated. Dayton, Ohio just never, the whole time I'm living here, never came across to me. Information comes to you if it's around. Just never seemed to have the life that I desire to live here, okay? So in my opinion, I would say it's more for people who are laid back, and maybe people are disagreed, but that are laid back. Maybe you just retired or something and you'd like to move to a very nice, very beautiful area of the country. But know this, you know, and you can relax. I mean, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. There's no doubt about it. But when you're vibrant and you're energetic and you're enthusiastic and I love glitz and glamour and fun times and I could go on and on and on. Can I tell you? You don't even, if for any other reason, you just simply don't want to live with all the bed bugs and the poor insurance policies that are out here. Okay? Especially when it comes to the two of them. And the lawyers, attorneys, they don't want to defend in your honor what is right. You know, I had problems with that ever since I came out here. At least when I was in even the small town in Pennsylvania, the lawyers, they still attack, you know, especially if you pay them. Here you go. They attack. Out here, you know, it's like there's something like they know that what? They'll tell you it's an insurance state. You know, there's a lot of politics out here. Well, guess what? I'll be political with you. I got a problem with you leaders of this of this state. You got a problem? I got a problem with you. Life has been very challenging since I've been out here. All right? You can be as political as you want. You want to get together and talk? I don't have respect for the leaders out here. I smacked my head on a sign. That there should have been a lawsuit, and I could have got the money and left here. How's that? You ever think of that? I have been out here for almost 10 years, and it freaks me out, okay? When I want to do something, I want to do something. And I don't appreciate the fact that I never got the opportunity to make a choice to live where I want to live. Because I trusted a Santa Claus, Joel Osteen. I didn't know how to make the right choices. So I came down to Columbus, where it seems to be logical, or Philadelphia. Why? Because I love Italian men. And, you know, I may or may not ever escort in the future. May or may not. I love all forms of entertainment. So there's a reason. Plus, I love New Jersey. So there was a time in my life that I was literally going to move to New Jersey somewhere. I wasn't sure just where I was going to live. I knew I was going to be probably close and outside of the Philadelphia area if I did do that, or in that generalized area. Now I can't say that I would move to Philadelphia. Right now I have my eye on what? Columbus. I think I'm going to stay in Ohio for a whole lot of different reasons, not to mention I'm just about halfway done with my music project. And when I'm done with this music project, which is probably 5 to 10 years, I most likely will not do another project like this. Definitely not of this size, because I did not know that people were invading my privacy. I did not know that Bon Jovi was going to make a huge stage prop of my little, during my time of depression and near death, creativity. I didn't know he was going to take my little creation and do something for his, you know, his bullying technique of putting it on a huge stage and doing whatever he did with it, okay? I didn't know that these things were going to happen. I didn't know I was going to meet these people in Fountain Square when I was busking and stuff, okay? The people in the music industry, I really have a hard time with them. I don't like any of them at all in the mainstream, okay? They're bullies, and they've been on the radio and things like that for far too long. They have their beautiful life they made, but guess what? A lot of people who have the talent, who have the songs, who have the desire, who have the fight, right? The only reason they didn't make it is because of the electronic harassment. That's what people behind the scenes do. They jolt people, make it very clear, don't help this person or you can help this person. Or okay, you had your shot, now you're done. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. And you won't realize it until you start trying to be like those people you had hanging on your wall. Now, at the time of this video being released, you might see a few more people starting to become, simply because what? They like to rub it in the face of people for no, I don't even know what the reason would be that I was ever even targeted for this stuff. It drives me crazy. All I ever did is just listen to the music and like people's music. Hell, I was just like you. I bought rock and roll tickets to go see people play. Next thing you know, they're messing with me because I'm a writer. I'm a recording artist. And I do my own thing. And I wanted to do it because I love God. And it brings me closer to God. So I would have to say that Satanists, like these people in rock and roll, don't like people like me who love rock and roll and love Jesus Christ also. Well, that's okay because they don't scare me, even though they've been trying to fry my brain with this laser stuff. Just because they might not be doing it directly, people they know indirectly are doing it. I'm interested at thriving at life, not business. Life is far more important than business any day. And if there's no real life in the business, why in the world would you want to do it? Seems to me like it's a bunch of theatrical personalities that are too dramatic for no reason. And it's usually because of lack of security with who they are. Or they would be able to easily cheer other people on in life. We wouldn't be listening to the same 50 songs on the radio year after year. Especially at Christmas time. Did you ever notice we listen to the same Christmas songs your whole entire life? I'm 46 years old this year. Am I going to hear the same songs of Christmas? I love them just like you. But what's wrong with that? Can't anybody else write Christmas songs? I could. I could write major hit Christmas songs that people would love. The thing is, I don't think I'm going to do it because if I do that, Bon Jovi might find out about it and then he'll be what? Using my ideas to write Christmas songs, right? Maybe. Could be a possibility. Well, I wouldn't like that. It's different when you release your stuff out there. It's different when somebody is invading your privacy via satellite, whoever that is, and it's getting relayed to other people within the music mainstream. All right? Faster than light. Mind you, you don't know it until you start attempting to do stuff, and then you realize, and we'll see what you're made of. Do you keep on recording knowing what's going on and that you're being used as a resource? So I think there should be a voucher to relocate, in my personal opinion. There's no reason why the laws of the land should be against people who want to move to anywhere in the United States they want to move. If there's housing anywhere in the United States and I say I want to move there, I should be able to easily submit for a voucher and get the means addition so that I can do it, especially if my psychologist is willing to sign it. Now, don't you think that's foolish? Why should I have a psychologist sign for everything? Why should I have a psychologist diagnose that there's something wrong with me? Because there is. Because what I've learned is a bunch of BS. I should not have to be considered disabled in my time of need. Look, you naturally get majorly depressed when nobody will hire you for work. And then you realize I never wanted work. I needed to get my life straightened out and I needed to know who the heck I was. Now, I was really upset with you, Walmart. Let me tell you why. I used to love you when I first came out. I had a hard time at first when you took my key drive-in away from our city in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, right? Because I had a lot of happy memories there. And I don't remember ever getting a note about it. But I found out about it and I saw that you built there. And it was the hardest thing for me to go to Walmart the first time because I like going to diverse places. I didn't want to just go to one place all the time. And I like going to real grocery stores with real food that don't have all the chemicals and stuff in the produce. That isn't filled with all kinds of toxics in the freaking ingredients of like toilet papers and all the other stuff that is used. Dye and everything. There's coloring and everything. Drives you nuts. So, but one thing I did like is when I first came out is Walmart was one of the dominant places I went and I got clothing. And that clothing actually fit me pretty good. Women's clothing. What a joy for me to share that with you, Walmart. I've been wanting to do this bravely my whole life. I can finally wear women's clothing and I'm doing it at Walmart. That was wonderful until the quality of their clothing kind of started going down. I noticed it's starting to get a little bit better again. Thank you, Walmart. When I was living at Huber Heights, check it out. There is a Walmart that is less, I think I clocked it at exactly 2 miles to the front door. From my front door right here, I actually clocked it, or I checked the mileage on it all the way to the front door at Walmart. I'm not sure just yet, but I think it was just a little over 2 miles, or right around 2 miles. Exactly. 2 miles. Well, I could walk 2 miles to Walmart, 2 miles home from Walmart. That makes 4 miles. And usually I don't do more than that on my treadmill. I'm lucky if I ever did more than 5 miles at any given time on my treadmill. And I used to be very proud of that and the fact that I love running on a treadmill. That's what I used to like doing. Now I only do like a mile, if I'm lucky, several times a day. Or several times a week, I'm sorry. Now here's the thing, check this out. When I applied and I got a job at Walmart, they would not let me work at the Huber Heights, which was right in my backyard. I had to drive all the way over to York Commons. Why? That's like 6, 7, 8 miles over there at least. Check it out if you don't believe me. Why should I drive that far away to go to work when there's a Walmart 2 miles right in my backyard? I could walk. Well, they told me they don't want people in the local community working at the closest Walmart for all kinds of reasons, but they don't tell you the reasons. How about they don't want you to communicate and connect with the people who are closest to you? Because then you get to know who everybody is, Walmart. They didn't want people to know who Tracilyn Michael was. Was it because I was trans? Is this going on at all Walmarts? It could be because I'm a transsexual female. They didn't want me, they just did it silently. They didn't want people to know who I was in Huber Heights. Funny when you hear that they were trying to get me to relocate to either LA, San Francisco, or they wanted me to freaking relocate to Yellow Springs, which is an LGBTQ community. Where does Q now come in at? What is queer? To me, when I hear queer, you're a queer, that reminds me of somebody who says you're gay. What is the difference with that? I want to know. Please help me. Because it used to be LGBT, then we had the Q. How long before we add the rest of the alphabet, the United States alphabet into it? The bottom line is, we're all transitional existences and there is no such thing as gay. It doesn't exist. Not to the perspective that other people were saying. If you like people, if you have a penis and you like someone with a penis, you like someone with a penis. But I'm somebody with a penis and I identify as female. There you go. And if I'm with somebody with a penis, I feel like I'm straight. There's a whole lot of confusion. Did we come to planet Earth to try to diagnose everything that's going on? What's the sickness? The sickness is everything we've been taught our whole life is what? Satan is the master of confusion. Now I wonder, is Graceland in Memphis? Is that the king of rock and roll? Elvis? Hell is? Is that the gateway into hell? Graceland? I'm curious to know. So Walmart would not let me work at their Walmart, which was right down the road from my apartment or from the house. I remember I had to pass that on the way there, knowing I could have had a job there. And then on the way back, I had to acknowledge that too. I think that's a bunch of BS. Not to mention it didn't pay very much. And it would have been a blessing for me to talk to people in my local community. Well, they don't want that for obvious reasons. They got cameras all over the place. What am I gonna do? They don't want us communicating with each other. They don't want us to connect with other people in our local communities. They try to keep everyone divided. You live in this neighborhood, go work in that neighborhood. Why don't people stand up and argue about this and make things right? Why don't lawyers and stuff drop everything and start making things right in the local communities? Why did God empower them to be lawyers, attorneys, legal representatives? Why did God empower you? Was it so you can make money? Maybe then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Insurance? Is that why you exist? You don't want to help people. Why do you do it? The aid that I'm getting, I want to touch base with another time. It is not realistic for the cost of living in America, period. It puts you in a corner by a dumpster. And I am very thankful for that corner. However, I have to sleep on the floor. Did I mention that? My bed should be sterilized here soon. I've been working on it continuously. Spraying lots of alcohol. Joyce, I wanted to quit alcohol and I wanted to stop hanging around people who were considered to be alcoholics for a reason. I was addicted to it ever since I was born. Okay? Can I have any spare time in my life? Can I have any time within my life that I can have the company of someone who's sober and not an alcoholic? And we can share time together and laugh and do fun things like little kids again? See, because people who drink make a big deal about it. They think that there's something wrong with people who think like me. Well, you don't know my life. I'm the same person that used to throw up in my hair. I'm through with alcohol. I really am. I would drink occasionally. I would drink some wine. That doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. I'm saying when it comes to people and their alcohol, it's the alcohol I have a problem with. I look at it as an alcohol spirit. Something happens and I see it inside my head and I don't like it too much. It's not the person and it's not it's nothing but the alcohol spirit. I do not care for it. I had to deal with that my whole life. And I broke away from it by living by myself. That's how I did it. Living by myself. Thank you for that. I'm not saying that it's forever, because once an alcoholic, they say, always, could be. So I will never say that I'm broke forever, meaning broke away from it forever, But I'm just saying, I want to live. My heart, my soul, I have the Spirit of Jesus Christ living inside of me, and it longs to live through me. And that's one of the things I try to stay away from. Now, the Walmart needs to snap out of it, you jerk-offs. And when people live close to a Walmart, they should be able to, you only pay them a couple dollars an hour. The government taxes everything. Oh, it's the IRS, is it? Smack them in the face is what we'd like to do. Why? Because that's hard labor for people. You're using your body all day long. In fact, I had a dream that Walmart was pretty much a very visual and very open swap shop. Meaning, child labor kind of thing. Which is probably going on in our country and abroad. If you're only making a couple dollars all day, how are you going to live on that? What do you do with it? And why should I drive 6-7 miles to go to a Walmart when I could actually work 1-2 miles away from where I live? Well, just before I quit, I was told then that I could transfer. Oh, but I couldn't do it from the get-go. Now I'm getting ready to quit doing the right thing. And now I could, of course. Well, there's confusion there. But I remember when that happened, I was very, that added to my depression like I can't explain it. I don't even want to really do it, but I don't know what else to do, and the pressure's coming on me, and guess what? I can't live on it. They want the American people to settle for less. Let me tell you something, the people who are rich, they're not working for money. That's where your artificial government comes in, and you think they're leaders. In other words, they're distracting everyone. Hi, we are entertainers. Maybe I should go with the governor and hang out with him for a week and get to know the details that he does. I should be able to call the governor and say, as the United States citizen of America and this great state of Ohio, I want to be with you when you punch in at work, whatever you do, how sign in, what do you do? I want to see and take notes of what you do all week long. Maybe I should do it for a month. Observation reasons. Why? Because I think it's time that people within the United States of America who are on, hey Donald Trump, when you want to push to have people volunteer 20 hours of their service a week to donate to their country, how about they come and check in with you and everybody in the White House and they observe to see what you're doing all day? And they listen into your conversations. Why are they so secretive? I want to come to the White House and follow you around for a week. Let's see what you're up to. That's what should be done. Anybody should be able to do that. How would you like to have somebody sitting with you all day, Trump? What will we be eating today? All we got is $15 for the month. Are you gonna make it, kid? How long before your stomach's gonna start growling? Do you like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like I do? Do you like rice milk, almond milk, or do you just want straight up fat milk from a cow? Push for it, people. It's time we start supervising these people. I don't believe they're real. I think their positions are fake, and I think they're overpaid. 6 digits a year for what? Why do they have health insurance that covers their needs? Well, because we let it happen. And people make up laws and rules to protect people that we would perceive as criminals. Again, I will say this, I don't want to talk about Joyce anymore, but I'll tell you, I got personal messages come in 2019. I'm going to start with the school system. I'm going to talk to Kim Rosenberg from Lidditz, or is it Leola? Is it Lidditz or is it Leola, Pennsylvania, or just off of 501, who has, no, it's not 501. Is it 501? No, it's not 501. I'll have to get back to you with that. Kim Rosenberg, who was my psychologist, could have diagnosed me and told me what to do. Just as I came out, isn't this funny? Just as I came out, transsexual female, they shortly before removed GID, gender identity disorder, from the list on the disability. Just as I came out, okay? I didn't know about all this stuff. That's not what I was aiming to do. It's not a disability. We're transitional existences. We've been lied to our whole life. We're not a body part. Does that amaze you? Because that's how they declare. Yep, that's a boy. Yep, that's a girl. Smack it on the butt. Give it a name. How about if you're going to do that again, it's going to cost you $300. Go back in time and sue the doctor who smacked you and the hospital who allowed it to happen. And the law enforcement who wasn't there to see to it that they were what? Ticketed. What? For offending you. We heard that in many comedy sketches, didn't we? Joyce Myers would tell you to stop using people for what you want. And I'm here to tell you it looks that way to some people who aren't with it. But the truth of the matter is you focus on the spirit within people. The spirit does use people. Joyce, it uses all of us. And the spirit within people that's for us is not being used. It wants a relationship with you. Joyce, do you think inside of me there's a spirit for you? I'm curious to know what your response would be with that. You gotta use what you need to use to get through this life. And until you are separated and you have no real means to survive that are in alignment with what we're here for, and we should be feasting off the nutrients of Mother Earth, not having to pay for it. Does a squirrel write out a check to Donald Trump before it takes a bite out of a walnut? Does a duck offer a cash donation to Tracilyn before it decides to eat a small chunk of bread? What about a fish before it eats a worm? Does it chip you out a pot of gold and say, here you go, it was worth it? Oh, does that freak me out? It freaks me out when you start to realize it's true. We've been had. We all been had. I remember used to think I don't want to be had like the father of rock and roll was had with That's All Right Mama. Well, guess what? Now you realize how easily it is for people to invade your privacy, and they had all of us ever since the day we were born if there's a chip inside of us. Well, they know everything now. You're darn straight. Understand this. We are entitled to life in peace, freely, and not be thrown out on the street. The second you get thrown out on the street, they arrest you for everything. And I know this. I was laying in the front lawn right here. And an officer told me that somebody called and said there was somebody naked in the front yard and suggested that I go lay on the other side of the house in the back. I never forgot that, Huber Heights Police Station. I never forgot that. I had a lot of situations. One day I'm going to make a list of 20 occurrences, just the occurrences, and that's it for a video of what happened to me with police officers in my life. Okay, especially most of them when I came out in 2007, when I was only 37 about. I feel like I finally covered everything. And if I missed anything, then I missed it. I want to cover with you the prostitution matter that happened with me in Connecticut in 2009 that actually traumatized me to the George Washington Bridge where I almost jumped off. And then I was invited out here to Dayton, Ohio lived with a transsexual female. I can't tell you how proud and happy I was for that. Depressed as anything. Started my song, Cold Winter Storm. Started writing a whole bunch of songs. I even wrote a song in hopes of inspiring a spiritual upping, lifting the spirits of the local community with a song called Dayton, Ohio, USA. But can I tell you something? The reality of it is I'm a kind-hearted person. I did a lot of research on that. It took me 6 days to write the song. And it meant a lot to me because I wanted to be a part of a community and do something with my musical talents. Okay? And I do not apologize for wanting a beautiful life. Okay? I realized that we were electronically harassed the whole time I was trying to do things, and I did not know what to do because our government has not made it a dominacy of great importance for Americans to become educated. We watch all this goofy stuff on television, and we teach our kids how to slap each other around and be dramatic and theatrical, because that's what they call entertainment. Do you understand? Are you getting it? The entertainment that they use it is to warp the brains of the masses. Why? To keep people imprisoned, in a mental prison, to keep them away from what God has called them to do and created them to do. And it's only found in your heart's desires. You gotta be true to you. All of that stuff on television, the reason they dominantly promote that, the reason why Bon Jovi's on the radio for 30 years is there's agendas. And those agendas are to keep people imprisoned. Like he's worth something to the whole population. Well, he is to a point, but he's not the only one, folks, that writes songs. And if you listen to his last album, you might not agree that he's worthy of whatever ticket prices he's charging. I'll tell you that, just like with the rest of them. There's a lot of songwriters and people in the entertainment industry that ended up committing suicide and they lost their lives. And the whole reason for that is because they were targeted. And why is that? Because the entertainment industry is what? Most likely ran by Satanists. Dominated by Satanists. How's that? It's not that there's not Christians in it. It's not that there isn't people who love Jesus Christ in it. But it could very well be that it's very dominantly by Satanists, one way or another. Just like an innocent person getting this started. And then I started realizing when I was an escort in New Jersey that what? I was told to be leery of a person named John. He's a very evil person. Pope the Father. I was told that Pope the Father is a very evil person. Okay? When I was here at Cincinnati on the streets, I was told that the people in the entertainment industry are very evil. Ooh, you're evil, huh? Oh, I'm really scared. Oh my goodness. I'm not scared of Satanists. I understand that they are very evil. Very evil. And I never, ever disrespected and disregarded that. I'm here for my life, and I figured if I leave Satanists alone, I should be okay, right? You would think so. That is until you start becoming, and you realize you're a very attractive person, you are an amazing songwriter, and they know it's about your belief system, and if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to start drawing attention, and next thing you know, thousands of people are going to be coming to your show and paying you ticket prices, and they want to dominate you. They want to control what the masses listen to, each word. They want to control what you're hearing, what comes into the microphone. They want to control everything. Why is that? Because they don't want people connected and close to the Father God, Jesus Christ. That's exactly why. Everything else is a distraction, and you don't realize it until you start to get focused on your heart. What do you think of that? Leave me a comment down below. You can tell that I'm dehydrated. I am thankful. I want to hit 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and give you a peace sign. 777. My mother always told me, Tracilyn, if you ever feel threatened by Satan, then say in the blood of Jesus Christ, I command thee to disappear. only she said it differently. Okay, it's funny when you get down to it, but why do you think the Holy Bible is not in school? Well, hold on a minute. Why do you think they say keep God out of school? It's best to do that. Who started this? Why? Why do you think pastors won't tell you about the dominancy, that it's all mental? That's what connects you in a spiritual sense. It's your mental status that has been hijacked and corrupted ever since you were born. Watching Bugs Bunny on television, are you? Notice all the things that they do on television are considered illegal in the real world. A majority, how's that? A majority of what is presented to you on television and in music, can I tell you, is illegal if you walk out the streets and you start doing it. Let's talk to Rock Johnson, you know? Who's that Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious? I don't know, let's talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger when he says, I'll be back. What if we were to do that to the front of his house? Hey Arnold, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. And then what? Well, I just blow in his front door. Well, how long is it going to be before he calls Los Angeles Police Department? Hey, I just saw that Universal down there in Florida has a haunted house that's pretty scary to me. Worse than some of the nightmares of the movies that I've seen. Now check this out. In one part, they had people following up to the customers. They had them walking up to the customers with a chainsaw. You know, it was probably fake. What if I walked up to the governor or the mayor or the president of the United States or a police officer with that same chainsaw and I started going, boo, boo, I'm going to get you. And I said some of the words that they say down there. What do you think would happen to me? What would happen to you if you did it? What would happen to the people down there if they did it? Aha. So this is where it's appropriate, and that's exactly what they do. They show all of Americans, this is what's appropriate here, this is what's appropriate over here, and that's what's appropriate over there. That's why they have horror movies, and then they have a comedy section. Then behind the curtains years ago, they have the adult film stars section. Remember that? You remember what it smelled like when you walked in there, do you? We all do. We all snuck in there wondering what's back there. It started with opening the carpet or the curtain and peeking behind it. Next thing you know, we're inside it. And there's guys in there flirting with us, aren't they? Yes, they are. Well, at least with me they were. Now, it's the same way in human life. Separate boys and girls. Those who have penises are now boys. Those who have a vagina, is that what we call it? The birth canal, the sliding board. Guess what? Here we go. They stick together too. We keep them divided when we go through school system, if you will, as we go through life. Now here's the thing. Understand that's the same thing with this whole trans community. That's the same thing with LGBTQ. What ends up happening is now go live in Yellow Springs or go live in San Francisco. Why? Because they accept us there. I agree with you 100% that there's more acceptance within the LGBTQ community. However, do you think it was set up that way? Don't ever think that for a chance that somebody might not be trying to direct your thoughts and try to lead you somewhere else for whatever reasoning. In my opinion, I'm sure that we upset in that house people within the community that said, you know what, that's a gay person's house. That's an LGBT house. There's transsexuals, there's she-boys there, there's lady boys that live there. And it can be painful to the people who live there. That's not nice. Now, here's the thing. People that are invading our privacy, they're going to try to what? Come to you on the street and either, like Tracilyn, move to LA. Why don't you move over here to Yellow Springs? As if life's going to be any better. It's about getting the heart right. You get the heart right, you'd be surprised. I came out victorious being an escort. Police brutality was the main thing that I was going through. A lot of police harassment. The laws. People enforcing the laws were pretty corrupted to me. Why? Because I recognized that I was innocent. They were willing to frame me. Okay, was it for my better interest? Well, some people would tell you, Tracilyn, you don't know what they saved you from. I can imagine. Maybe. Maybe we don't know. We'll never know. But that added to my PTSD, my upsetness, my angerness, my acknowledgement that, hey, why would you perceive prostitution for an exchange by two parties who say, I'll give you something if you give me something? Why should it be illegal? Sex is not illegal. We can all have sex. Money's not illegal. We can all have money, right? Is that okay, government? Can we? It would be nice, can we? Would you share with us? Can I just pull out a $50 bill or a $20 bill out of your wallet there, Trump? Hey, you got 20 bucks? Just a fellow citizen. We're family, brothers and sisters. There should not really be one who has much and another person who has much more, maybe in different ways to offer, and has a whole lot less. Especially when they find out that what was used to win an election was used through privacy invasion of one's life. Okay? I remember when Trump was running for election, and I was surprised because that's what was being revealed to me. A lot of the things I was talking about in the privacy of my home were manifesting through what he was doing for the election to win the favor of the masses of the people to get his vote. Okay? That is exactly the way it's perceived for me. Now, do I want to get into a heavy dispute? No. From this day forward, I'm going to mark down the date and time, I hope, minus going back in time and hitting certain topics like my psychologist, the mental hospital, different things like that I had experiences that I'm very disappointed I went through and had to endure, because there's a lot of crucial points that could have occurred within that would have saved me from a lot of the frustration. And one of those is I should have entitlement to what? Move from point A to point B at my leisure. I should have the means to be able to do it. I should not be punished for everything I do that is just in alignment to my heart. So anyway, we're running out here of what appears to be battery and memory. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to my video. I don't know how much longer it's going to be until I actually upload one again. I love you. I got a video channel at youtube.com/ whatever it is, Tracilyn, Tracilyn. They change it all the time. I got Facebook at / Tracilyn21. That's Tracilyn 21. I got Tracilyn.com. You can email me, you can call me, you can text me. I'm looking to move to Columbus. I'm really excited. I don't want to keep on outing my life about all the things that happen. Hey, I'm being electronically harassed. I was a student of Joyce Meyer's. No more. Starting 2000 and something, I stopped it. I stopped it because I realized what? When I started applying action, everything that I was hearing and applying it in my life was making it a whole lot worse. Creating an illusion. Now I'm figuring things out, and I'm realizing that preachers, when they speak, they leave all the details of importance of the very beginning in your head out. In the beginning there was Word, and the Word was God. First word in your brain, and that's where it starts. Welcome to planet Earth. We hope you have a wonderful life, but we can't guarantee because there's real Satanists that live on the planet. And Satanists are not for life. Please do not ever give your soul to the devil. That means death. Okay? That's what it's all about. Death and life. Choose life, always choose life. There's always a way. Okay, goodbye. Love you. This was my series from 2014. To now, October the 12th, 2018. It is officially 9 p.m. Actually, it's 9:16 p.m. Bye. And here, check out my little bear. What is it, Wilbur Bear? Isn't he cute? I wanted one of these for a long time. So hopefully I can stop talking about this. In my opinion, I think Stephen C. Johnson should be arrested. If they would have just left me alone, I would have had a really good chance at not being mentally stressed out. Bye.